The American Midwest, wide skies, quiet towns, friendly neighbors, a place where doors are left unlocked and life moves with the seasons. But sometimes even the heartland hides monsters. April 4th, 1991, Clinton, Missouri. A small town where everyone knows your name, and the days pass quietly beneath wide Midwestern skies. Angela Hammond was 20, bright, and full of hope. She worked at the local bank, loved country music, and was expecting her first child with her fiancé, Rob Schaefer. Angela and Rob were high school sweethearts. They spent evenings at the local diner, dreaming of their future together. On that night, Angela called Rob from a payphone in the center of town, just a few blocks from his house. The town was quiet, the streets mostly empty. Angela chatted with Rob about their plans, laughing softly under the glow of the streetlight. Their conversation is interrupted. Angela notices a green Ford pickup circling, its driver watching her. She tells Rob about the truck, her voice uneasy. The pickup passes by again, headlights sweeping across the empty lot. Rob urges her to ask if the man needs the phone. Angela relays the question. The man replies, "I do." Suddenly, Angela screams. Rob hears a struggle, then silence. In that instant, Rob's world collapses. He shouts her name into the phone, but there is only static. He races to the payphone, desperate. Rob's heart pounds as he speeds through the empty streets, searching for Angela, headlights cutting through the darkness. On the way, he passes the green pickup, Angela inside, fighting for her life. He turns his truck around, tires screeching, but the pickup accelerates away, tail lights vanishing into the night. Rob gives chase, but his truck breaks down. The pickup vanishes into the night, taking Angela with it. Rob stumbles from his truck, breathless, searching the darkness for any sign of Angela. But she is gone. Police arrive to find the phone dangling, a community in shock. News spreads quickly. Neighbors gather at the scene, faces pale in the flashing red and blue lights. A massive search begins. Volunteers comb the fields and woods, calling Angela's name. Helicopters sweep the countryside, search dogs sniff the ground. Police sketch artists work late into the night, creating a composite of the suspect. Flyers are posted on every telephone pole. Rob is questioned for hours, his grief mistaken for guilt. Rumors swirl. Was it a stranger or someone from town? Detectives pore over evidence boards, connecting red strings between suspects, vehicles, and sightings. Theories multiply. Was it a drifter, a local, or a serial predator? Angela's family appears on television, making public appeals. The community rallies, tying yellow ribbons around trees, refusing to let her memory fade. Police release composite sketches and descriptions to the media. Tips pour in, but none lead to Angela. Theories abound, but answers never come. Some believe Angela was the victim of a serial abductor. Others suspect a crime of opportunity. The town is left to wonder and to fear. Police chase every lead, but nothing sticks. The abductor disappears without a trace. Years later, detectives revisit the case files, hoping new technology will reveal a clue. Angela's photo remains on the wall, a silent plea for justice. For Angela's family, the uncertainty is torture. Hope flickers, then fades. Rob moves away, unable to escape the memories. Angela's mother keeps her daughter's room just as she left it, waiting for a miracle. The town of Clinton is changed forever. Parents hold their children closer. The payphone is removed, but the fear lingers. Clinton, Missouri, is forever marked by that night, a shadow over its quiet streets, a voice on a phone line, a final desperate scream, and a future stolen in the dark. In Westfield, Indiana, Herb Baumeister seemed the model citizen, a man whose life, on the surface, was the American dream. He owned a successful chain of thrift stores, was active in the community, and lived with his wife and children in a sprawling estate on the edge of town. To neighbors, Herb was polite, if a bit eccentric. He coached his son's soccer team, attended local events, and was known for his sharp business sense. But behind closed doors, the Baumeister family sensed something was off. Owner of Fox Hollow Farm. The estate itself was impressive, 18 acres of woods and fields, a grand house with a pool, stables, and winding trails. It was the kind of place where secrets could hide in plain sight. But Herb led a double life. At night, when his family was away, Herb transformed. He became Brian Smart, a name whispered in the shadows of Indianapolis's gay bars. He was charming, offering drinks and invitations to his home. He would lure young men, many of them drifters or those estranged from their families, back to Fox Hollow Farm. Some were never seen again. For years, police dismissed the missing persons as runaways. The LGBTQ+ community, already marginalized, found their pleas for help ignored. The disappearances continued, a pattern only visible in hindsight, until Herb's son found a human skull on the property. The discovery was brushed off. Herb claimed it was a medical specimen, a leftover from his father's days as an anesthesiologist. Julie, his wife, wanted to believe him, but unease grew. Meanwhile, rumors swirled in the city. Friends of the missing men began to connect the dots, sharing stories of a mysterious man with a lavish house and a chilling smile. One night, a man narrowly escaped Herb's clutches. He went to the police, describing the estate, the pool room, and the man who called himself Brian Smart. He remembered the license plate. Detectives watched the estate, documenting Herb's movements. They built a case, but needed more evidence. Julie, now filing for divorce, finally allowed police to search the property. What they found was horrifying. The grounds were littered with the remains of at least 11 men. Bones and fragments were scattered across the woods, hidden in shallow graves and beneath piles of leaves. The search expanded, with forensic teams combing every inch of the property, a boneyard hidden beneath the estate's beauty. The news shocked Indiana and the nation. Reporters swarmed the gates of Fox Hollow Farm. Neighbors watched in disbelief as body bags were carried out, the estate's dark secret finally exposed. Victims were slowly identified. Families who had waited years for answers finally learned the fate of their loved ones. The pain of not knowing was replaced by grief and anger at a system that had failed them. The investigation grew. Police searched for more victims, combing through missing persons reports from across the Midwest. The scale of Herb's crimes became clear. He was one of the most prolific serial killers in Indiana history. As the investigation closed in, Herb fled to Canada and took his own life. He left behind a note, but offered no confession, no explanation for the horrors he'd committed. The families of the victims were left with questions that would never be answered. Some investigators believe Herb Baumeister may have killed many more. His travels and the timeline of disappearances suggest a wider web of victims, some never identified. The I-70 Strangler, an unidentified serial killer, targeted young men along the interstate. The similarities to Herb's victims were chilling, but no definitive link was ever proven. The case forced law enforcement to confront their own biases. The LGBTQ+ community demanded justice, and the tragedy led to changes in how missing persons cases were handled in Indiana. The Fox Hollow Farm case left a permanent scar. The estate itself became infamous. Paranormal investigators and curiosity seekers flocked to the property, drawn by tales of restless spirits and unexplained phenomena. Some relatives still visit the grounds, leaving flowers at the edge of the woods. The pain lingers, a reminder of lives stolen and futures lost. Herb Baumeister's secrets died with him, leaving only questions and haunted ground. Fox Hollow Farm stands to this day, its halls echoing with the weight of unsolved mysteries. The story of Herb Baumeister is a chilling reminder. Even in the heartland, evil can wear a friendly face. Helena National Forest, Montana. A vast expanse of pine and aspen where the wind whispers through endless trees and the mountains stand silent, ancient sentinels. In the summer of 1985, the wilderness was alive with the laughter of families seeking escape beneath the open sky. The Marshall family, like so many others, gathered for a picnic near the Elkhorn Mountains. The air was crisp, the sun warm, and the world felt safe, at least for a moment. June 26, 1985. A date that would become etched in the hearts of a family and in the history of a community. 4-year-old Nyleen Kay Marshall, bright-eyed and full of energy, played with other children near a gentle stream. Her laughter echoed through the trees, a sound so ordinary, so precious. The Marshall family watched as their daughter darted between the trees, her red dress a flash of color against the green. For a moment, she was just out of sight, only a moment. And then in the blink of an eye, Nyleen was gone. The laughter faded, replaced by confusion, then panic. Her mother called her name, the sound swallowed by the vastness of the woods. The search began instantly, parents, campers, strangers drawn together by fear. The forest, once inviting, became a maze of shadows and uncertainty. Law enforcement arrived, their radios crackling, boots crunching on pine needles. Helicopters circled overhead, search dogs barked, and volunteers combed every inch of ground. Hours turned to days. The Marshall family clung to hope as the search expanded. Across rivers, up rocky slopes, through thick underbrush. But the forest gave nothing back. No trace, not a footprint, not a scrap of clothing. Just silence, and the ache of not knowing. Rumors spread quickly. Some whispered of wild animals, others of hidden dangers in the woods. But one detail stood out. A man in a red shirt, seen watching the children from a distance, his presence unsettling. Witnesses described him as out of place, a stranger whose eyes lingered too long. The image haunted the investigation, a phantom in the trees. As the days passed, the search became a vigil. The community gathered, lighting candles, posting flyers, refusing to let Nyleen's memory fade into the wilderness. A year later, hope flickered when the Marshalls received an anonymous letter from Wisconsin. The writer claimed to have taken Nyleen, wanting a child of his own. The letter included details only the abductor could know. Her nickname, the clothes she wore that day. It was chilling, a cruel hope. The FBI investigated, tracing the letter, searching for clues. But the trail went cold, and the letter became a dead end, another question with no answer. Decades passed. Nyleen's face appeared on missing children's posters, her story told on television, her family clinging to hope as the years slipped by. The pain never faded. The Marshalls kept her room just as she left it, toys untouched, waiting for a miracle that never came. Over the years, investigators chased every lead. A notorious abductor, Franklin Delano Floyd, claimed to have raised Nyleen as his daughter. But DNA proved otherwise. Each hope was extinguished, each rumor another wound. Nyleen remains missing. The man in the red shirt became a ghost story, a warning whispered to children at dusk. Was the letter real or a cruel hoax? The details suggested truth, but evidence was always just out of reach. The forest kept its secrets, and the wild silence was unforgiving. Did Nyleen wander off, lost in the endless green? Or was she taken, her fate sealed by a stranger's choice? Her case became a parent's nightmare, a moment's distraction, a life changed forever. The story has no ending, only questions and a haunting reminder of how quickly innocence can vanish. The wilds of Montana remain silent, holding tight to the truth. For the Marshall family, every year is marked by absence. Every birthday, every holiday, a reminder of what was lost. The community, too, is changed, more cautious, more aware of the shadows that can fall even on the brightest days. The man in the red shirt was never found. His image lingers, a phantom at the edge of memory, a question that will never be answered. In the end, the wild silence is the most haunting part. The trees stand watch, the mountains endure, and the story of Nyleen Kay Marshall drifts on the wind. Unanswered, unforgettable. A voice cut short by a scream. A farm hiding a boneyard. A little girl vanished into the woods. Their stories are etched into the Midwest, reminders of darkness beneath ordinary life. These aren't just crimes, they're lives interrupted, families shattered, communities left with chilling questions. The search for answers never truly ends. The Midwest's quiet charm hides secrets too dark to ignore. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more true stories where silence still reigns. And remember, even the kindest town can hide a cold case.